Your dictation will start after 5 seconds.
Start. Sir, so far as the ideological and moral points of view are concerned, I do not think there will be anybody in this house who will consciously support a measure which will lead to things which do not go to build up our moral stature. But the position that I see here is this, or rather, the spirit of the resolution is this. When there is a certain evil existing, are we to leave it as it is, or should we try to bring it under control? That is the issue before us now. If an impression has been created by some speeches that we are now introducing a measure which will encourage lotteries and other such things that pertain to lotteries, then I respectfully submit that I do not accept that interpretation. There are lotteries and there is this spirit in our people which makes them spend lakhs and crores. Let us bring it under certain discipline and let us use that money for some good purposes. That is what we have been doing so far as prohibition is concerned. We have it in some states and gradually we are eliminating it. Similarly, in course of time, when we are fully prepared to practice that ideology, when we achieve that standard or ideal, certainly we will go ahead with this matter also. Sir, we do not subscribe to the view that a person who has committed a wrong should be given corporal punishment or that he should be sent to jail. But have we abolished these things? Let us understand the world and the circumstances in which we live. Let us approach this problem with a realistic mind and not with a theoretical mind, at the same time bearing in mind the fundamental principle that we should not go out of the way or do anything which would go against the very fundamental objective of the nation and the principles that the father of the nation taught us. Having that in mind, I feel that the opposition to this resolution is unwarranted. Everybody started preaching moral principles. With due respect to them, I may say that all of us know something about that. But let us concentrate on the problem that we have to face. Let us bear that in mind, and then I think the details may be worked out. I am sure the finance minister, who is a very strict man in such matters, can do it, for he has very wisely come out with his proposal so far as prize bonds are concerned. My honorable friend, who is representing him now here, may try to interpret it and say they do not use the whole money. One of the honorable friends said there is no loss, but there is loss of interest to that person. So, this sort of thing is something which would appeal to the spirit of chance, which you may call the desire to get something without much hardship or any labor. Sir, I congratulate the honorable member for bringing forward this resolution. This is a very good resolution. Firstly, this resolution seeks to delete the right to property from the Constitution. Secondly, it wants that the right to employment should be inserted in the Constitution. As far as right to property is concerned, we are already complaining that the bureaucracy is overriding the legislature and the parliamentarians. If we take such a step at this stage, if we delete the right to property from the Constitution, we will be greatly increasing the jurisdiction of bureaucracy. We would have to carry on our own shoulders the task of looking after the welfare and subsistence of the 60 crores of our people. It is not workable at present. It may be workable in some future time. In principle, it is a very good idea, but at present it is not workable. Secondly, it is a very good step towards socialism. Before taking a socialist step, we have to think how far we are socialists ourselves, how far the 60 crores of our people are socialistic. Socialism does not mean that we should nationalize the property, but we should think whether we are dedicated to the society and how many of us think in terms of the society rather than the self. If we are not socialists ourselves, it would be very difficult to make the entire country socialistic. What I have to say in this connection is that we can restrict it in principle, but we cannot totally delete it. It is desirable that we should do something to restrict unlimited holding of properties by people. Now, there is a general feeling among the people in the rural areas that government has taken lands from them, but it is not doing anything for limiting the extent of properties in the cities. I think this is a very reasonable thing because when we could take lands from the rural people, why not we do something about limiting the properties in the cities? So far as lands are concerned, perhaps the government thinks that because grains are produced on the land, land could be a sort of factory for producing grains. I feel that we have been unreasonable in one thing. We had not gone to the extent of giving a reasonable price to the owners of the land from whom we took land. The land owners reasonably deserve a fair price and they should have been given that. Had we done it the ill feeling among the villagers that government had taken away their land would not have been there. If we had paid a reasonable price to them, there would have been no problem. After all, when we take over factories, we pay a reasonable price to their owners. Similarly, my personal thinking is we should have paid a reasonable price to the landowners also. Now, these rural people say that property in the cities should be limited, which is logical.